Our second speaker for today is Anthony Chambers. Through a plethora of life experiences, Anthony has become a thought leader and life coach whose expertise is best manifested when awakening the awareness of others to their innate value and personal power. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us today. You can take yourself off of mute, sir.
Well, thank you, and a very, very good afternoon to everyone. And thank you so much for having me. My talk is about interrupting fear to see opportunity. I'd like to share with you, in the words or the language of the Chinese, crisis is created with just two strokes, basically, two characters, one representing danger and the other representing opportunity. But in the words of Joseph Campbell, somewhere between danger and opportunity lies what we like to call the hero's journey. All of us in this particular segment of history are living the hero's journey. It's a metaphor for the cycles of life that we all go through, and the various changes of life that we go through. To share with you a bit about my story, my journey, or my hero's journey, began when I first got married. But in all seriousness, it was a very, very interesting experience, because by the time I was 25 years old, I had 3 children, a wife on drugs, and I was awakened from a sleep to discover that my baby boy, 2.5 months old, was not breathing. I woke up and I blew into his mouth, but I didn't know first aid. I didn't know CPR. And when I blew, he blew back at me. And I blew again, and he blew back at me. And I said, call 911. And 911 seemed like they were there in just moments. But when they took my baby boy out of the house to take him to the hospital, she rode in the ambulance and I followed in the car behind. And as I did, I prayed. I said, Father, take me, don't take my baby. But had I been taken, I don't know where my 2 older children would be today. Needless to say, 40 years later, that journey, ascending into the unknown, finding myself in a call or a quest to be able to be a young single father, to provide a life for my children, it caused me to change my whole life's trajectory. I ended up opening up a youth center and charter school in my community, serving young people that were being orphaned by the crack epidemic that hit California, along with helping them become self-sufficient because they had switched role with their parents. Many of their mothers were on crack and their fathers ended up in the prison system. So as a result, I'm looking at our current circumstances and understanding that we are all on this hero's journey. We're all traveling into an area of the unknown. But know this, that we give every single thing meaning. Everything. Everything is really all about perspective. I just want to try something here. See if you can see my sign. Can you see that? There you go. Now, I'd like to know how many of you saw God is nowhere? And you can just kind of raise your hands, okay? And how many of you saw God is now here? You see, that space between danger and that space between opportunity depends on where we place our energy. As you know, wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. And it's important that we look at every situation knowing that we're going to come out on the other side. 50% can go to the left and 50% can go to the right. But where are we placing our focus? I'd like to let you know that as we go through these circumstances and situations, we ascend into the abyss, and then we learn to optimize. We learn to adapt. We optimize, and we come out better than we ever were before. And of course, we do this cycle again with some new circumstance, but we become enlightened along the way. Oftentimes we've been given a screwdriver and a hammer and say, go out there and build a life. But it takes more than a screwdriver and a hammer. And without all the additional tools, you screw up and tear up more than you build up. So my mission here today is to give you your power back, allow you to take your power back, to understand that, okay, in every situation, every seeming problem lies its own solution. You can have no up without down. You can have no inside without outside. But if we take a deep breath and take a step back just to diffuse or remove the excitement, the emotional charge from the situation, it gives us an opportunity to oxygenate our brain. As you know, when a baby sleeps, when he breathes in, his stomach goes up, and when he breathes out, his stomach goes down, because he's fully oxygenating his brain. He's breathing from his diaphragm. Most cases where we're in fear or we're in struggle or flux or in stress, our breath becomes very, very shallow. It's almost like an involuntary sneeze. We can't seem to control it. But the breath allows you to pause for the cause, allows you to oxygenate your brain, to allow a thought to come, to give you the answer that is already there before you. It's simply about us truly understanding that we're gonna come out on the other side, and we're gonna come out for the better. My name is Anthony Chambers, and I wanna know, what will you do to spark hope? I can be found at anthonychambers.org. Thank you so much for having me.